They thought they could just walk into the Gateway Center and dictate the terms of engagement. The Washington Mystics arrived riding the high of a brutal 90-72 demolition of Chicago, confident that their undefeated run in the Commissioner's Cup would roll right through Atlanta. But what happened next was an absolute reality check that sent a shockwave through the Eastern Conference. It was not just a loss for Washington, it was an absolute dismantling that proved exactly what happens when you underestimate a team with its back against the wall. And the wildest part? This goes way deeper than anyone realizes. The story of this game isn't just about the final score. It is about a profound shift in power, a showcase of rookie dominance, and a masterclass in relentless physicality that completely unraveled a championship contender. When the Atlanta Dream passed the century mark on their way to a staggering 109-77 victory, they weren't just winning a basketball game. They were sending a loud, undeniable message to the rest of the league. To truly understand how this blowout materialized, you have to look at the opening minutes when Howard jumped the screen and went off to the races on Citron, dropping two right off the rim before Washington even knew what hit them. The Mystics tried to rely on Shakira Austin, who was fresh off a 17-point performance on Tuesday, to anchor their painted area. But Atlanta brought a level of defensive intensity that completely disrupted the Mystics' game plan from the opening tip. Remember this detail because it becomes absolutely crucial later. The Dream were coming off a frustrating stretch, including an uncharacteristic sluggish performance against Indiana, where their stars were held to just 4 combined points in the first half. Coach Wright knew that a slow start on their home floor would be fatal against a Washington squad that moves the ball with lethal precision. The pressure was squarely on the shoulders of Ryan Howard and all-star guard Jordan Canada to set an entirely different tone. And this is where the story takes a turn nobody expected. Instead of the veterans completely dominating the narrative, the floor became an absolute showcase for high-stakes rookie execution and brilliant post-play. Angel Reese, matching up against a grueling front court, proved exactly why you discount her passing ability at your own absolute risk. Reese tracked a loose ball out of the hands of the opposition, initiated a break, and delivered a phenomenal over-the-shoulder look on the run that forced an immediate desperate Washington timeout. But that was just the surface of what was happening here. The real story was the sheer tactical execution of Atlanta's offense, which repeatedly exposed Washington's perimeter coverage. Ryan Howard, even while battling early foul trouble, stepped up to the line and launched a quick trigger three-pointer that found nothing but the bottom of the net. Every time the Mystics tried to claw their way back with inside buckets from Kiki Iriafen or interior lookups to Lauren Betts, Atlanta answered with a devastating blow from the outside. Now here's the part that should make you angry if you are a fan of defensive fundamentals. The Mystics completely abandoned their identity as the game progressed. They allowed Atlanta to settle into a rhythm where the Dream became the 6th different team to completely dismantle them from beyond the arc. Players like Cheyenne Parker-Tias and Alicia Gray started using the reverse layout and sidestep maneuvers to manipulate the defense, while Jordan Canada laced a deep three that pushed the momentum completely out of reach. But you have to ask yourself, how a team with Washington's pedigree allows a 12-point halftime deficit to balloon into a catastrophic 22-point lead in the second half? The answer lies in the sheer lack of movement off the ball. While Atlanta was moving with incredible synergy, logging 20 assists on 29 main field goals, Washington stood around watching and waiting for someone else to make a play. It was an offensive stagnation that played right into the hands of an aggressive, opportunistic Atlanta defense. And this is where it gets personal on the stat sheet. Look at the numbers because they don't lie. Kiki Iriafen tried to maintain her presence as a menace in the paint, but she was completely isolated. Meanwhile, Atlanta's depth took over completely, as executioners like Lorella Kubaj and Crystal Dangerfield found their niche off the bench. When Maya Caldwell slashed her way through the lane, drawing a heavy foul and converting an old-fashioned three-point play, it was clear that Washington's energy tank was completely empty. Think about the psychological impact of watching a game completely slip away while the opposing crowd is on their feet and all smiles at the Gateway. The Dream didn't just win the battle on the scoreboard, they dominated the glass, capitalizing on the fact that these are two of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country. Aerial power stepped into a rhythm, generating extra possessions, while Naz Hillman pulled down critical boards that sparked immediate fast break points, completely overwhelming the Mystics' transition defense. Because here's what this all means going forward. This 109-77 victory completely alters the trajectory of the Commissioner's Cup standings and forces Washington to reevaluate their entire rotation. You cannot claim to be a championship-caliber team when you give up over 100 points and allow an opponent to shoot with that level of freedom. Atlanta proved that when their backcourt is clicking and their post players are facilitating, they can run anyone off the floor. So what is the real takeaway from this blowout? Was this just an anomaly, a perfect storm where Atlanta couldn't miss, and Washington had a historically bad night? Or have the Dream officially cracked the code on how to dismantle the elite teams in this league? The Mystics have to go back to the drawing board to fix a defense that looked completely lost, while Atlanta looks ready to tear through the rest of the schedule. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know if you think Atlanta is the real deal, and don't forget to subscribe for more unfiltered sports analysis.